Have you ever heard a sound in the middle of the night that made you sit up in bed? Maybe it was the wind outside your window. Maybe it was a car passing by. But for Liam, a boy who lived in a quiet town in America, it was something different. It was a train whistle. Whoa, whoa. Liam sat up quickly. His heart started to beat faster. A train? That was impossible. There were no train tracks near his house. He rubbed his eyes and listened again. Yes, the sound was real. It came from the backyard. He jumped out of bed, ran to the window, and pulled back the curtain. What he saw made his jaw drop. There, under the silver moonlight, glowing train tracks had appeared across the grass. And on those tracks stood a shining train, tall and long, with golden lights in every window. It looked like no train he had ever seen before. The train door opened with a soft hiss, and a man in a blue coat and shiny cap stepped out. His face was kind, and his eyes sparkled like stars. He looked up at Liam's window and called, "Good evening, young traveler. The midnight train is here. Would you like to come aboard?" Liam's mouth went dry. The midnight train? He whispered to himself. He had never heard of it before, but something inside him told him that this was no ordinary train. It was magical. Without thinking twice, Liam put on his slippers, opened his window, and climbed outside. He ran across the grass and stopped in front of the train. "Where does it go?" Liam asked. The conductor smiled. "To the land of dreams. But be quick. The train waits for no one." Liam took a deep breath, stepped onto the glowing silver stairs, and entered the train. The moment he walked inside, his eyes went wide. The walls shimmered like glass. The seats looked soft, almost like fluffy clouds. Children from all over the world were sitting and laughing. Some wore pajamas, some held stuffed animals, and some carried books. Everyone looked excited. "Welcome aboard," the conductor said, tipping his shiny cap. "Find a seat. Your adventure begins now." Liam sat next to a boy holding a toy rocket and a girl hugging a teddy bear. The train gave a soft rumble, then with a loud choo, choo, it raced forward. It went faster and faster, until the stars outside looked like silver streaks in the sky. Soon, the train slowed, and Liam pressed his face to the window. What he saw outside was beyond anything he could have imagined. There were floating islands in the sky, castles made of candy, rivers that glowed in rainbow colors, and giant friendly animals walking beside children. He could not believe his eyes. The train stopped, and the doors opened. The children rushed outside. Liam followed. The air smelled sweet, like fresh cookies. In front of him stood a pirate ship waiting on a golden beach. A tall pirate with a friendly grin waved at them. "Who wants to sail?" he shouted. Liam's heart jumped. He had always dreamed of being a pirate. He ran to the ship, climbed the wooden steps, and stood on deck. The sails were as white as clouds, and the ocean sparkled like glass. The pirate handed Liam a spyglass. "Look ahead, sailor." Liam raised it to his eye and gasped. "Treasure Island!" he shouted. The ship sailed quickly across the waves until they reached an island full of palm trees and shining chests. Together, the children opened the chests. But instead of gold or jewels, they found glowing memories, happy moments from their lives. Liam saw the day he learned to ride his bike, his grandmother clapping and cheering. He saw the time he built a pillow fort with his cousins and stayed up late laughing. "These are your true treasures," the pirate said gently. "Dreams remind you of the joy you already have." Liam felt warm inside. He held the memory close, then returned to the train with the others. The whistle blew again, and the train moved forward. The next place was even more magical. When the doors opened, Liam saw a sky filled with floating lanterns. Each child picked up a lantern, wrote something on it, and let it fly high into the stars. "What is this place?" Liam asked a girl near him. She smiled. "It's the sky of wishes. Here, you can send your wish to the stars, and maybe, one day, it will come true." Liam picked up a lantern and thought hard. He could wish for anything in the world. After a moment, he wrote, "I wish for more courage to try new things." He let the lantern go, and it floated higher and higher until it became a tiny glowing star. Watching it rise, he felt stronger, like he really could be brave. The train traveled to many more dreamlands. There were mountains made of ice cream, forests where animals talked, and playgrounds that stretched higher than the clouds. Everywhere he went, Liam felt joy, wonder, and a deep sense of magic. But soon, the conductor's voice rang out. "Last stop, home." Liam's smile faded. "Already?" he asked. The conductor nodded kindly. "Yes, young dreamer. But do not be sad. The midnight train always comes for those who believe." The train slowed, and Liam saw his backyard through the window. The silver tracks gleamed in the moonlight. The door opened, and Liam stepped out onto the soft grass. He turned to wave, but the train was already fading into the night sky, its golden lights blinking like stars until it was gone. Liam climbed back into his window and curled up in bed. For a moment, he wondered if it had all been a dream. But then he looked at his desk. There, glowing softly in the dark, was the spyglass from the pirate ship. A smile spread across his face. He now knew that dreams could be real, and that adventures were waiting for him. Not just in his sleep, but in his life too. That night, he fell into the deepest, happiest sleep he had ever known, ready for the morning, and ready for all the adventures still to come. And somewhere, far away in the night sky, the midnight train of dreams blew its whistle again, carrying more children to places beyond imagination.